Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak, and here I am to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of September 20th, 2021. All right, we are in for a treat. Okay, so a lot is happening this week, guys. A lot has been happening, but we are in this really deep activation energy, to be honest. See, I'm getting right into it because I'm like, okay, ready, guys? Because we have this full moon in Pisces today. I think just because I'm so deeply going through everything right now in the transformation that I'm just like, okay, I got to get right into it. The transformation that we're in with this Piscean full moon, which I'm going to get into, and then with this equinox coming, this autumn equinox, or spring if you are in the southern hemisphere, but I'm not, so I'm not going to talk about that today. But yeah, so just like the transition that we're going through right now from summer into fall and then into winter, and the transition that kind of comes with that, and where we're at in the transitional progress of the astrological clock for the year. We're at our halfway point. So anyway, I'll get into all that, but there's just like so much information that's coming through. I also have my singing bowl set up, so I'm gonna do just like a little sound bath for everybody here today. So maybe I'll start with that. Yeah, I think I'll just start with that. So, because I kind of just came right off the hop. So maybe just to kind of balance my energy, ground me, because I have had a crazy day and I'm just trying to get this video together and out. I really do like to record them on the Monday because the energy of my Monday kind of sets the vibe for the video, really, like, because it's all intuitive, right? So, but I'm definitely going to be needing to bring a little bit more organization and preparation into my structure, into my schedule, because, and I'm just speaking right now because maybe this is also where you're at, but just organizing and purifying, clearing, cleansing, bringing people together, clearing space, clearing energies, like from our emotional body, mental body, all of it, just really finding our center. So my intention with this is that all that needs to come through for whoever stumbles upon this video, either for this week or in the future, these messages are timeless. So if you happen to find this video, kind of have the awareness that it's your energy that's attracted this information that's coming forth. So this could just be a way that your higher self or the universe, whatever words you want to put on it, is kind of working together with you through my vessel to get this information out. Okay. So I'm just going to play for a few minutes and see what comes through and ground us into this reading and connect us to our heart center, to our higher self, open our crown chakra. I just want you to get into a comfortable position. If you can close your eyes, please do so. Connect to your breath. Feel the expansion of your chest. And feel the fall. Feel the expansion and feel the fall. And just feel the sensation of your breath, of that life force, filling up your lungs. And feel it opening up your crown chakra. And as you open up your crown chakra, you have more access to the infinite knowledge, the infinite potential that you are. And this week, you are letting go all that is keeping you from your highest potential. It doesn't matter how old the story is. This goes back to past lives, present life, future, in this lifetime. That is irrelevant. And is all coming together now to be cleared. Feel the release of your body. Feel the tingling on your crown, on the top of your head, maybe other places in your body where energy is being released right now. And just say, thank you. I don't want to carry this anymore. I don't want to carry this anymore. Not for me. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the suffering. And transmute that. Let it go through you. Let it come out. Up and out. It's coming up and out to be released. Remember that. Remember that. You're remembering. Your third eye is coming online. And you're seeing. And right now, there's a lot that has been hidden. But you are a warrior. You're a warrior of compassion, of love, of strength, of courage, of integrity, of authenticity. Feel how these words ring through your body. Whether they feel good or not is whether you are in alignment with your truth, with your authenticity, with your integrity, with your heart. And this is your invitation to access and release, and give back to Source, and thank and honor what has kept you limited. We will reclaim our sovereignty, our free will, our choice. If you want to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, move your body back and forth, give your head a little spin, a little back and forth, come back into the body. I hope that that helped you. I hope that that cleared you. And I hope that that activated you. All right, here we go. Let's get into it, guys. Welcome back. Okay, so let's just start with the full moon in Pisces, okay? So full moons, we're going to focus on the full moon first here so we can understand what the energetics of a full moon is. And this represents full illumination. So this is when the sun is directly across from the moon and the moon is reflecting the light off of its face, and that's why it is bright, right? And so this is the same energy, the same concept and understanding. So if we can understand how light physically works in our world, then we can understand how we work as well, and how all the planetaries, because it's the micro to the macro, okay? Micro to the macro. Micro to the macro. I was doing the opposite hand actions. Okay, anyway, distraction. So anyways, just saying though that our external reality is a reflection of our internal reality, right? So just understanding what phase that the moon is in. The moon represents our emotions. It governs the water on the planet, the tides. It brings them in and out, right? And it has its phases. And so keeping in tune and understanding the energetics of the phases of the moon allows for you to be able to understand what energy that we are in. Right? And so right now we're in this full moon, so it is full illumination. This is a representation, could be the pregnant mother, right? The full-term mother that is ready to birth, right? Fertility, high manifestation, things like this. Oh, I was going to say, what else do I have here? High manifestation, and then a heightened awareness, right? Because of it's connected to our intuition as well, right? So our emotions and our intuition are one and the same because it's our emotions that guide us and actually connect us to our intuition, right? So this is kind of the energetics of the full moon. So full illumination, high manifestation, and then a heightened awareness, okay? Especially emotionally. Meaning that you'll feel a lot of what is going on in the collective or in your friends group or in your family or wherever it is that you're being called to feel right now. And remember that that's what you're feeling on top of what you're feeling, right? So on top of your own personal humanness, you also have the other aspects of your internal environment, your external environment and your external responsibilities and all that. You also have that landscape to keep pruned within yourself as well, right? So that's really what we're being called back to. And now I'm kind of already getting into the Piscean energy. I'm Pisces, so I know that energy very, very well. For Pisces, it is the last sign of the zodiac. So it is actually encompassing all of the signs, right? Because it's the completion sign. And so it is very highly spiritual sign. So, it's connected to its intuition. It's guided through trust and spirit and realizing the synchronistic breadcrumbs of the universe. It is a very dreamy, mystical, not very grounded, right? So that's kind of the not grounded is something that if you're a Pisces, then you really have to learn to ground, right? And not lose yourself because it also has this chameleon type energy because you're able to basically shapeshift. You're able to read the energies intuitively and be that mirror for the energy. So you can really fit in anywhere, but that doesn't really mean that that's where you're supposed to be, right? So that's kind of the Piscean energy, my own quick little blurb of it. And so like understanding this, so while we're in this full illumination, the high manifestation and the heightened awareness, it's going to be a really internal journey. And so like this week, like if your emotions are very heightened, keep reminding yourself that it is the energy right now, okay? And that things come up to be let go of. It's coming up, it's surfacing so that you can release it because it will only, if it doesn't come up, then it stays down, right? And so you have to allow for that to come up, whether it be anything, whatever experience, whether it's in a relationship or with your job, which technically is a relationship, but yeah, so like being aware of your triggers, especially emotional, because Pisces is, like I said, a water sign, right? So, and water relates to our emotions. And so it's like learning how to be fluid and grounded and centered within all the chaos that's going on. And the way that we do that is really just by grounding and connecting to our truth and learning how to be in a place of like unconditionality and neutrality, but also having your strong beliefs, right? Like if you don't stand for, what is the quote? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? And how relevant is that right now, right? And I think too, just like waking people up to their sovereignty and waking people up to the truth, like that's really what's going on. And this Piscean energy like also governs illusion, right? And so also media is incorporated into that too, right? Social media and just the news and all the outlets, right? And so understanding like you need very strong discernment with this Piscean energy because it's like I mean, your imagination is the limit, but you have to be able to discern within that, what is of service to you and what is not. How to, bring energy in that's going to fill you up, and how to let go of that energy that's draining you, and even how to differentiate, because that's what happens with this Piscean energy, is just that, with all the illusions, with all of, and very naive and innocent too, right? Yes, they have a lot of like lifetimes experience in a way, but also because it's like, when the closer you are to source energy, the more kind of innocent and pure you are, in a way that really, I think the best way to say it is, fragments your mind and your soul, because of all of the pain and all of the suffering and the manipulation and the coercion and everything that kind of is the darkness of the world. And so cognitive dissonance is what happens to the body, which is like a split between, well, in the mind and also from the body and the soul, because it's a trauma response. So actually, I was just talking to a really, really good friend of mine, and I was going through a lot of cognitive dissonance, and this is something that everybody goes through all the time. And that's what happens when people, have emotional or mental breakdowns, or they reach their breaking point, is like because they don't know how to process. So what happens is, when you don't know how to process, then it suppresses and it builds up, and it starts showing up in shadow ways. So you start acting out, or you start doing this, or you start picking a habit up that you didn't used to do. And that's how you self-medicate, right? And so really it's about getting under that and really understanding the holistic, like the why it is that you are the way that you are, and how come, like, how can you be of service to you? How can I help myself right now? How can I call on spirit? How can I call my ancestors in? How can I call my guides in and say, hey, I really need help right now? And that's really like, that Piscean energy is also very connected again to the spiritual realm. So that includes your ancestors, your guides, your higher self, your entire spiritual, anything spiritual, right? Pisces, connecting you, third eye and crown chakra, which means that you're opening up your perspective, and you're opening up to the divine, to your purity, right? To love, to compassion, to understanding, to truth, right? To knowledge, to integrity, to authenticity, all these words that hold the foundation of basically what it is to be human. Because I almost said a good human, but I think like it's just a human nature to be good, right? So it's taught, right? Like negative, evil, it's taught. And so that's why healing our own path right now, and actually like disassembling your DNA structure of your traumas and your wounds, and healing that. It's like I'm seeing a cut right now on an arm, and you getting stitches and letting it heal, and then having that now closed up. Like same thing, but on a psychological and an emotional level, right? I know it's really easy to see the cut and watch it heal, but it's not something you can actually see when you're healing yourself emotionally and mentally, right? So yeah, it's a learning curve, but this moon is really supporting us and illuminating. Like it's not just like showing us our shadows, it's showing us the light of our shadow. It's showing us why we have these aspects within us, and what has been laying dormant, and what we're going to be remembering to come, because that's that third eye activation as well, right? So yeah, like really just be aware of your thoughts and your emotions, and really learn to ground them. Stop through like kind of pushing them away and suppressing it, because a really big message that I was getting was that the old ways aren't working, is what I kept hearing. And just from my own personal life, like I don't just mean the collective. For me, this was my own thought, and I'm like, okay, the old ways aren't working. Like what I used to do to cope, to do what I needed to do, are not working, and I'm really being upgraded. Like even the food that I'm eating, I'm like, oh my God, I can't eat shit anymore because it makes me shit. I can't lie. Okay, like I'm just like, okay, my body I'm listening. My body doesn't like that. It's really not rocket science, nothing to be ashamed of. It's literally a call and response system, what you're putting in and what you're getting out, right? Like, so it's just like really having that awareness and then knowledge, right? Like, I mean, the reason that we don't do anything is because we don't know what to do. So it's like, okay, well, what can I learn and how can I learn in order to get out of the place that I'm in, right? And that's really anything that is an imbalance in your life, just is a lesson to be learned, okay? You are the portal. I have that written down. So you are the portal. So like understanding you are the portal, like to this higher way of living. Like, you know, it's no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to do anything. You're the one that has to save yourself. Though, do we really need saving? Not really, because we always, it's like source never left us. We left source, right? Or God, whatever. The universe didn't leave you. You left the universe, right? And it's like you're the one that gave up hope. You're the one that gave your power away. You're the one that said no. But that's okay because God's unconditional and loves you. So don't worry about it, human, because I got you. You're just here to experience for me anyway, so don't even worry about it. Thank you for experiencing that. I'm so sorry that you struggled and you went through all of that, but thank you because now I know what's going on in this little universe. And then I can give you what you need because it's unconditional and it's infinite and it's the creator of everything. So that is our infinite connection. Nobody can take that from you. Whether you've got the V, whether you haven't, whether whatever anyone's telling you, whether the moon is a matrix thing that's keeping you locked into a lower dimension, maybe it is, but the only reason it is because you think that it is, right? And so it's like, wow, what a mind fuck. So we're really getting mind fucked into waking up because that's really what waking up is like releasing all of our old beliefs, all of our old paradigms, because that's what solidifies our ego. And it's not that we don't want our ego, it's that we need to integrate our ego so that there's a balance between our human self and our soul, our divinity, right? And so being able to merge that, because if you're suppressing the ego, that's not the soul. So that's just the ego keeping the ego down because the ego likes to feel safe, right? The ego needs to be seen. The ego needs to be heard. So listen, right? That's all it is. Listen. What is that chatter? That's your intuition. That thing that is like talking to you all the time in the back of your head. It's like that awareness that's in you that maybe you haven't accessed before, but like, it's like, you know, when you do something and you think to yourself, fuck, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Like that knowing, that voice within you, like you can access that all the fucking time and it'll talk to you and guide you. And then once you start learning how to connect to that even stronger, then you can start learning how to call in different energies and different guides and read energies and literally work in the fourth dimension, because that is your mind. It's the bridge between the third and the fifth, right? So if we're able to bridge that gap between, which is just by shifting our thoughts and shifting our perspectives and learning our lessons and having these mass paradigm shifts in the collective, but on an individual level, then that's where the power lies. And that's where the 1% can't go past the fourth dimension because they don't have access to this higher knowledge. They're not able to access infinite energy, which is why they siphon energy off of other beings, humans. These other beings are siphoning our energy because they don't know how to access infinite energy. And it's not even that they're bad. Like that is their way of life. And so it's like, oh, hey, you know, have it instead of siphoning my energy. Because I'm such a highly evolved being, I can teach you how to access infinite energy and infinite potential all the time for all of your beings and every part of your species from here on out. So how about you can ascend into higher realities and realms of consciousness through your paradigms, through your mind, through comprehending and utilizing the knowledge to accelerate your growth in the cosmos. And then you can come with us, and we don't need to keep you don't need to keep us small to keep yourself alive, because we can all just empower each other into this next phase. And that is part of our contract with these other species on their paths to raise consciousness of both, right? Because it's not all part of one thing is good or bad, okay, is what I'm trying to say. Is like humans. Not all humans are good and not all humans are bad. We have a mix and a scale, if you will, right? So it's like within these darker energies, the light is still there, because it is like the light and the dark are one and the same. You can't have the light without the dark, right? You can't have unity without duality, because if you didn't have duality, then unity wouldn't mean anything, because it would all be one anyway, right? So this is the mind fuck stuff I'm talking about, the paradoxical reality. It's like, well, you have to look through different lenses of what it is, a unified understanding of the universe, and what it is a separate aspect of the universe, and then you merge that, and that is that separation is the ego. Like, that is the part of us that makes us human. That makes me the I and us the we, the ego, right? It's like, okay, I can identify with my name, with my job, with what I do, with like that grounds me into my human body. But what are you beyond that? What are you beyond a mother and a father and a sister and a brother and a employee and this and that? Like, what is beyond all of the labels? Because that is the I, that is the ego. And once we can get beyond that and go deeper into the layers and access our soul's knowings and rememberings, that's when we're able to know our path, right? Because external validation is amazing, okay? But there's a line where you need to stop constantly needing and seeking and looking, and, you know, there has to come a time where you go within, because all the answers are there. Everything that you've ever needed to know is right here within your own consciousness and within your own being. And when you listen to that voice guiding you, that is what brings you to wherever you want to go, right? Because it's a conscious choice. It's just about making the unconscious conscious, and you keep growing that consciousness until, yeah, you still have a subconscious, you still have a shadow, but you have more light in you to be able to filter that darkness. I hope that makes sense. Wow, that was all really amazing. Okay. Okay, cool. And then I have feel your truth. Like, feel your truth, guys. Like, feel your truth. But most don't know how to feel, right? And that's kind of what I've been talking about with like being able to access these deeper layers of ourselves. Like, our emotions are deeper layers than our thoughts, right? Like, I can comprehend something and intellectualize it, but then that doesn't mean that I'm able to access that emotion within my body, right? And so that's the part of healing that is so difficult, because it's like, well, the mind wants to know everything, but and the mind is linear, and the emotions just aren't. They're not. They're quantum. They are not linear. They are not logical. There is no logic within emotion. There is, but as a generalization, we would say that emotion is, you know, the more quantum level, and which is like the wave, the wave aspect of reality, and the mind is the linear. So meaning like, okay, I need to comprehend it, and I need to see it chronologically, and I need to see the entire map to show me exactly where I'm going and why I'm doing it. But it's like, well, the heart doesn't really care about that. The heart just wants to feel good. The heart just wants to love, right? So it's like finding that balance, but it's like you can't just let the heart go, because then the heart gets wounded, it gets hurt, it's vulnerable, it's all these things. And so then the mind has to find a way to protect that. And so it's like, that's what we've done, and now we're learning how to de-armor that, and then learning how to just be sovereign in your knowings, because you know, like, you are worthy, you are whole, all of these things that we think that we're not, and we're actually just remembering that we are. And as we remember, that allows for us to shed these shadow aspects and be aware and move through them, right? Okay, I need a drink. Holy schmoly. So much information. I hope that you're enjoying this. All right. And I really pray to God that this microphone's working beautifully. I did a few tests, but... Okay. Oh, realize your potential's off in the corner of this. Okay, so that's another thing I want to talk about with the Piscean energy is realizing your potential, right? Actualizing it and actually becoming it and embodying it. Okay, anyway, I'm going to try to just go through the fall and spring equinox kind of a little bit quicker because I did just get a lot of information. Oh, back to the you are the portal for a minute though, guys. So going within, that's really just one I want to touch on with being able to move through this world with everything that's going on right now. Like, we are very being called into spiritual action. And that could just mean whatever. I don't know what that will mean for you, but this is the part where I stand up, I buy my microphone, I'm starting to get things more in place because I know that it is time, right? Like, it's like my human is just like, oh, look, I want a microphone because it's fun. But it's like, I know that my soul is aligning things so that in the future, I'm able to be this leader that I was always meant to be, right? And maybe that's you too, and maybe it's something else in a different way, but that's the whole idea of this, right? So like, you are the portal. What it is that you want and everything in your life, it's just like, I'm just here to hold the mirror up for you and to guide you and give you the information that's going to piece the puzzle together or help you piece the puzzle together, right? And so understanding that it is your own mind that limits you and your own incompetence to process your emotions. And hey, that's coming right from my own personal experience as well. I've been going through so much emotionally, mentally, like in the way of connecting with family and different relationships and dynamics and different things. So it's like, everything I'm saying is first and foremost for me, and then I get to share it because in order for me to share it, I have to be in the process of really understanding what I'm talking about, or else I can't sit here for an hour and talk to you guys and just allow it to flow, right? So it's like, I get all my information. I'm always picking up information. We're radio receivers and we're also transmitters. So we're picking it up and we're giving it out, right? So it's like we take information in and we give it out. And that's kind of like this pattern that you're learning how to purify, basically, because this energy that you're putting out, what is the energy that you're putting out? Because that's the energy that you're pulling in. What is the energy that you're pulling in? Because that's the energy that you're going to start pulling out or pushing out, right? And so having that awareness of self, really, of self over here, realization, you're able to filter the information, and it's not just like, oh my God, I can't feel my emotions because I'm this or I'm that, or I'm not allowed to do this, or I'm not, like, all that is what you're learning to dissolve, because that's the ego, that's societal structuring, and while it holds significance in its own right, it's time to dissolve it. It's time to dissolve the judgment and the misinformation and the manipulation and anything that is not pure and of unconditionality. Because that's where human species are on their way to, which is not the shit that's going on right now. But we have to be anchored in our sovereignty in order to, in our own personal sovereignty, meaning even knowing your truth, knowing where you stand. What is your purpose here? How much do you understand about what is going on for you? Like, you don't need to know everything in the world. All you need to focus on is you and what it is that makes you happy and what it is that pulls you out of your darkness. Not how you're going to save the world, not how you're going to this. It's like, what is it that you need right now? And I get it. We have kids, we have families, we have this, we have that, but it's really like, put that mirror up, because you're going to be the one that's sick next. If you don't start taking care of yourself, you can't sustain depletion. You can't sustain it. It's just impossible. It's just not possible. So you have to learn a new way, right? The old ways aren't working. All right. Beautiful. By the way, the full moon is today. in Canada anyway. I don't know where, when it is. I guess it would be tomorrow, which is already now in Australia. Right? Mind fucks. Anyway, so that is today here in Canada, and so happy full moon in Pisces. So there is that shadow side, but there's also a lot of light to it, and it's just really about discerning and grounding and connecting to you and your authenticity and your truth. Okay, on to the next. So now the fall equinox is on September 22nd, so on Wednesday. It is all about balance. So the in the astrological zodiac clock, there is the halfway point, which is this equinox right here. And so we're in the halfway point of, so it would be like looking at a clock at like say noon, and it would be all the way down at oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the 6. Oh my God. See, guys, sometimes my human, whoo, at the 6, right? So basically like this, halfway. Oh my God. Wow. That's embarrassing, but it's okay. I don't edit my videos, so you get to see me. There's a huge fly. I really want to kill it, but I'm going to just try to keep my composure because I don't want to screw everything up. Okay. So anyway, so this day is all about balance. It's all about, actually, what did I have over on this side? Okay, here, yeah, this is where my notes. I was like, wait a minute, where am I going with this? Okay, so balance, okay? So, yeah, so the midway point of the astrological year, it is a representation of new beginnings and re-energization of energies. So what's happening is that, at least here, we're going into fall, and so everything, it's already come to life, it's bloomed, it's flourished, and now it's getting ready to go dormant, and it's getting ready to shift into an energy of yin, which is very internal, which is very like for a human emotional. This is when we go within and we kind of sort through our stuff, right? You think about winter, you're not out like at the beach and doing this and doing that and whatever because you're inside because it's cold, and it's just what happens, right? You're just inside doing your inside stuff. And sorry, I'm laughing at the fly here. And so that's kind of, and obviously the plants, they go into their, and all the animals go into the hibernation mode, right? So like being able to observe our external reality to show us what's going on for us as well is really, really powerful. And that's kind of what this is showing you, like understanding the cycles. Back, we were talking about the moon cycles, and now we're talking about the seasonal cycles, right? So understanding where we're at in that cycle as well. So in the moon cycle, in our emotional side, it's like we're in that Pisces and full moon energy, which is everything I've ever already talked about. And now we're also in this fall equinox energy, which is us going into that yin and introspection as well, right? So this is kind of kicking us off to be able to organize ourselves in a way to get ready for the winter, to get ready for that in that yin side time. Okay. The veil between realms is thinning. We have, so that means that we have access to spiritual guides and ancestors. So at the equinox and at the solstices, we have a thinning of the veils between the spiritual realms and the physical realms, and same with actually on a full moon. So very heightened, and this is why intuition is so strong right now, right? And so like being able to access this information, it's going to be stuff you've never accessed, right? Like we're going to be receiving more downloads. Maybe you've never even had a download before, and you're like, download, what are you talking about? And you're going to know what I'm talking about because you're just going to be picking information up. And so like it's your job to be able to process that. Like you're the transmitter, you're the processor, the transmutator, right? So taking that information in, and what is it that you're taking in, and being able to be guided from the wisdom of your being, of your guides and everything, right? To move through that. So intuitive powers get a boost, so we're able to download more information from other realms. Awesome, I just said that. Connect to your grounding energy so that you can trust the universe to catch you, right? And so when we understand the cycles, like when you understand where you're at in a cycle, and if you're a woman and you get your period, then definitely keep an awareness of when it is that you line up with the moon or don't, or your hormone level or your emotional state or your mental state, because these are all cycles. These all go in rhythms and cycles, just like the universe, as we are the universe, right? So being able to understand your own personal cycles and rhythms and connecting to your intuition is really going to help to ground you. So if you're like, I don't know how to ground, she's saying ground, that's how you do it. You really get to know yourself, and you really get to know how your body works. And then, yeah, so learning to take control of the direction your life is going, and then focusing on balance, right? Because we're at that midway point of the astrological season, right? So we still have another 6 months and another 6 zodiac signs till we get to the end, which is Pisces, right? So the sun I'm talking about, right? Not the moon. The moon will probably be, what are we in right now? Virgo? I think we're in Virgo. Yeah, which then that brings a whole nother can of worms, which has to do with our physical health, which I'm not even going to get into that, but that's where that balance is coming into with that grounding energy. Like, you're really going to know what it is that's important to you and what it is that you need to focus on. So that's really what this is bringing up. And like massive duality and polarity unification, meaning like everything that is pulling you in different directions, you're going to be able to find this place within you that is of neutrality, but while being able to observe how it is that you're responding, if that makes sense. So instead of being reactive, you can learn to respond because you already know your truth and you're standing in your power. So when something comes into your field, you're able to say, is this in alignment with my truth, with my authenticity? Like, you can start by asking yourself that, but you don't ask yourself that after you've practiced this and anchored this. But that is the practice and the anchoring of it, which is to say that you have to keep bringing yourself back into alignment. And so then it becomes natural. But it's like going to the gym and strengthening a muscle, a physical muscle. We have spiritual muscles and spiritual organs that we're learning how to navigate through. And that's really that third eye and crown chakra, right? Okay, holy guacamole. That's that. I think that I have said enough. Yeah, and then I have rise above, rise above, rise above, because that is how we overcome anything that we're going through. And that was a mantra for me for a really, really long time, was rise above, because I just really couldn't process my reality. And there was that sense of cognitive dissonance where I was disconnecting because I couldn't process the discord between what was going on inside of me and what was going on outside of me. Okay? So it's totally normal to go through these feelings, but it's all about helping yourself through that instead of staying there. Okay, so we're going to pull a few cards here. I got I was drawn to messages from the mermaids because of the Piscean energy. And so, I wanted to go to the ocean with you guys and see what the mermaids have for us. Oh my God, of course. Discernment, guys. This is huge, huge, huge. With the energy that's going on right now, like with the vaccine, with the mandates, with all the misinformation from, mostly the government, to be honest, and all this truth surfacing, it's really hard because if you've never questioned the government before and you've always thought that like every cop's a good cop because he's a cop, well, then you will have a rude awakening into the realization of the darkness in our reality. And so that's okay. That's okay. It's fucking intense, So you're learning how to discern what it is that is true to you. And so that takes societal standards, that takes ancestral programming, meaning what your mother and your father programmed into you and your family and everything and so on and so forth, and the dynamic and all of it. Being able to discern what is yours and what is not, and who you are and who you're not, because that's what's going to really help you to navigate right now. Because again, back to the authenticity and the integrity, if you're not in alignment with those, then you're really going to be feeling it strongly. Okay? So let's see, mermaids, what else you got here for us? Yeah, relaxation. Okay, so yes, so I'm being shown like the cycles again. This fly, man. I want to kill it so bad. Okay. Relaxation. So, okay, discernment, and then to relax. Oh, right, and the cycles, right? That's what I was saying. Okay, so basically, like in the cycles, there is a time to relax and there's a time to be active, okay? And you're being told that right now it's your time to relax. This week is to relax. Take this space. There's a lot of space right now. I know there's a lot of chaos, but there's a lot of space because everybody is so distracted by their beliefs and what they're doing and what they think they should be telling everyone else to do. And so there's a lot of space right now to really just observe and to really be and to not be pulled in all the directions and to not need to be heard and to not need to be seen and to not need to do anything kicking and screaming and to just chill out and come back to your center point and come back to what it is that matters to you in this now moment. Back to your basics. Did you get a good night's sleep? Did you drink enough water? Are you eating properly? Are you exercising? All these things. How's your home environment? How's your work environment? Right? And if they're lacking love, then that is your place to bring that love in. Okay? That is your place to bring unconditionality for you and how you feel. So you can say, hey, I can see you, and I know that you're scared right now, and that's totally okay. But what are we going to do, meaning you and yourself, looking in the mirror, talking to yourself, what are we going to do to get me to where I need to be, to get me out of this mental state, to get me out of this emotional state? What is it that you're not able to process? And then create the space for that, right? Magic! You are the magic. So beautiful. What a nice way to end that. And that's it, right? And then magic happens. Magic unfolds when we're able to access these aspects of ourselves, right? Breaking free. Okay? And the octopus all up on her too. Beautiful. Okay, and then I wanted to do a card from Beyond Lemuria. We all know this deck. One of my favorites. All right. Let's clear that energy. All right. I'm just going to ask for one card from this deck because usually these ones are a little bit juicier. Just show me one card that we need to see, please, for this week, for this Pisces full moon, as well as this fall equinox for 2021. Damn right. Awakened awareness, guys. Are you freaking kidding me? Boo! Right here. Third eye activation. Crown activation. All right. Awakened awareness. Like, how perfect is that? That just totally hits the freaking home run for me, and it's an 8. It's a 17 is the card number, and so numerologically it's an 8. 8 represents infinity. 7 is a very divine and holy number, and then the 1 with it kind of represents like the beginning, right? And so the beginning and spirit kind of unifying always, because there is always going to be that center point, that source point. Everything already happens simultaneously, meaning all past, present, future time collapses and is actually just is and existing, which our human cannot understand. It can try, and mind tries real hard and gets a pretty conceptual grasp on it, but it is a very deep thing to really sit with. And learning from our animals, learning from the animals, because they're gonna, oh wow, okay, wow, we're getting real, fucking real for a minute. If you live in an area where natural disasters occur, listen to the animals. Yeah, I gotta say that again. If you live in an area where natural disasters occur, listen to the animals. They will flee. They will know. They're in tune. Utilize that. Utilize their connection to the earth plane to connect you more to the earth plane. Things are going to start happening. So be aware. This is why we're being so aware right now, because it's not like, I'm not saying you have to be afraid. I'm saying be aware, be in tune, have that discernment, be able to judge between what is love, what is not within your own being. So if you hear run, you run. If you hear stay, you stay, and you trust that. And these are the instincts that are being triggered in us right now, for real, on a really deep level. And so this is activating a lot of ancestral trauma, a lot of trauma in our collective, because our rug has just been ripped out from under us on a collective, and our foundation is crumbling. We're having the tower moment, and now we are gonna experience the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? And so really listen to the animals, okay? That was definitely a powerful message. Okay, and then let's just call in the angels real quick, and then I'll close off. So I have the Angel Therapy Oracle cards. So I just wanted to like kind of ask what angels that we need to call on this week, or what it is that we need, or I guess what are the angels helping us with this week? Oops, as I move, it shakes my thing. Sorry, guys. I couldn't find my ring light with the camera holder, but that's okay because I ended up recording it on my computer anyway, so it always works out. All right, guys. Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay. Shield Yourself came out, and it actually did land reverse, so start learning. That's what I heard, because I know like that there's a lot of really confusing information out there, and so it's like, well, how am I supposed to know where to go? And it's because you're learning how to trust your intuition and your soul. And so this is part of it, shielding yourself, just learning energetically, emotionally, physically, if you need to physically take yourself out of a situation, or if you need to mentally be able to protect yourself, because people can attack you through their psyche, through their mind, mental energy. This is really powerful, as well as emotional manipulation, right? So like this is happening on a collective right now with humanity. And so it's definitely going to be happening in your own individual micro world, right? So be aware. It says, protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Are you kidding me? And then we have visualize success. So see yourself doing well in the situation and have faith in a positive outcome. So guys, the power of your mind is everything, okay? That is our consciousness, breaking free from limiting consciousness. Go with the flow. That's very Piscean energy too, guys. Going with the flow, having the capacity to know and the discernment of what it is that you need to put your focus on right now. Okay, that is really going to help you. And visualize success. Listen to your heart. Listen to your soul. Listen to the part of you that gives you hope, that, you know, allows for you to move forward in your life in a way that fills you in such a dark time, right? Like, don't get scared of the dark, guys. That's what I just heard too. Don't get scared of the dark. It just wants to be loved too. Be willing to forgive, and then manifestation power. That is your access to your manifestation power. You need to forgive in order to clear your energy and your blocks in manifesting whatever it is that you want coming to you. So it says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of pain or of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. You can do this. That is your power. You ask and it is given. Angels of 100% pure love and light, archangels, I say personally, please clear my energy for me, please, so that I am able to think clearly. Please take this emotional fog, or at least bring understanding from it, because I just can't do this anymore. Please, please, please. Thank you. And then breathe into that and allow them to do the work on you, okay? And visualize it. Really visualize it, because that's what's actually going to allow for the healing to happen, when you can tap into visualizing it. And then be willing to forgive. So ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness, okay? And I think that's where I'm going to leave it, on the topic of forgiveness. So remember, as you go through this week, that there's a lot going on right now, that we are really being called to go internal right now, introspective, and to connect to that witness within us that has been guiding us the whole time, but we haven't had the capacity to really listen to, okay? So just have that awareness, and look at this balanced forces. Fucking A, so gorgeous. Okay, and that's kind of where we're going. That's what that's the whole point of it, infinitely over and over, right? Balance, balance, balance. So yeah, I'm sending you guys all so much love. I hope that you have a good week. Remember that you have the power to overcome anything that is happening in your life. The universe never gives you anything more than you can handle, which believe me, I know in the moment it might not feel like that, but it is the truth. And the more that something really gets to you in a deep way, the deeper the transformation is going to be. So as deep as you're going to go is as high as you're going to fly. So as you're going through your darkness, as you're going through your shadow, as you're realizing not as all as it seems, keep coming to that place of light, keep coming to that place of hope, and give yourself the grace to move through what it is that needs to be moved through. Ask for help, reach out, ask the questions, do what you got to do for you. All right. I'm sending you guys so much love. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you when I see you. Lots of love. Bye.